The old gods are waking up.
If they're just waking up, what have we been worshipping all this time then?
Well, still, the gods, what do you mean?
Listen, I understand and can even appreciate your enthusiasm, but sometimes you say things that are a little off putting. Including that statement, they're just now waking up, as if there isn't a history of the modern spirituality of Norse paganism, Asatru, whatever you want to call it, and that there hasn't been relationship building between these individuals and their gods for theistic practitioners. You want to say they're just now waking up?
But I heard the call recently, and so many other people are waking up.
Such things tend to happen generationally and indeed over time, and you could often see it many times even in the same decade. And while I'll never say that there is an unbroken line between modern heathenry and ancient arch heathenry, there is still a history there, and honestly, it's the same with any revitalization or reconstruction practice. It's kind of like saying that for all of this time, anyone in those revitalization and reconstruction efforts has just not been communicating with anything real. And I think you kinda hit the nail on the head. You heard the call, so you're new to this.
Well, time is inconsubstantial to the gods. Perhaps recently has a different way about things for the immortals.
While indeed an interesting discussion, that seems kind of a cop-out to me. That still leaves the question of when they woke up, regardless of how humans and immortals would see recently. And I will at least give benefit that you're saying the gods and not necessarily the spirits, so you're not necessarily removing all of the praxis about it, but it still feels like a cop-out just to say, like, your specific awakening was the most important.
That, I'll admit, was not my intent.
And that's why we have conversations like this. I in no way want to invalidate the importance of specifically your awakening or the importance that so many other people are hearing the call. But this is a rhetoric that so many people both fall into and take advantage of. It's not just about the invalidation that comes from that kind of rhetoric. It's also about how everything seems to form. Now, everything goes through cycles. We all experience these cycles, and part of that cycles is that people will take advantage of people with your enthusiasm about it, and you might fall into it just because that is what originally connected you. That's also what you keep hearing, so if someone can take advantage of such things using that rhetoric, you'll be more inclined to agree with them, and that's a lot of the times how some of the weirder cults get formed.
Oh, that seems like we're getting into a lot with just this little bit here.
We are, and that's partially what happens with experience. You can see kind of the grander scheme of even the things that, I fell for decades ago. I was not unlike you when I first started. And I'm not saying this to discredit the incredible, impactful things that you're feeling right now. Everything is new. You are experiencing new spirituality at this point. But aside from that, it is admittingly minorly insulting for those of us who have been in this longer than you. It's also going to lead you into a lot of unsafe spiritual spaces. If nothing else, I want you to think about what it means to rise again in the kind of groups that promote that rhetoric specifically.
That was definitely not what I was talking about.
And I understand that, but you can understand how the pipeline kind of starts like that, right? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Now is going to be the time that you feel like you can communicate with them constantly because it's a new feeling. You're seeing everything in a completely different light. And as you exist in this new spirituality, that's going to become the new normal to the point of you won't necessarily feel the gods as much, except for extremely powerful situations, moments. This is a part of the process of coming into everything like this. And while I don't want to discourage you or your enthusiasm, please don't curb your enthusiasm, just be a little more mindful.